And in terms of your partner, if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
she's also been very supportive. I'm sure, very much so, eh?
Yes. So she was obviously the first person I told when I got the news. And yeah, we had a discussion. I mean, it went from the bit where she was first, she was shocked and worried about my well-being, and very supportive of that. Wanting to know, if she was anything I could, if there's anything she could do for me. And then yeah, then we obviously had the practical discussion about how things would work in the meantime. After I finished up at work, and what the plan was, and so on. So we had that discussion pretty early on in terms of what the initial plan was to deal with it. And I said that we just recently purchased a home, so I think that was sort of lucky timing.
I'm happy to change your light bulb if you want me to.
Yeah. Well, there might be there might be 20 or so that we actually changed quite a lot of the light bulbs in the place. But yeah, so she was very supportive, very supportive, and obviously uh, it's been it's been nice for her to have me do a bit more stuff around the house, and so on. So she's just been there, been very supportive, and yeah, she got over the shock of it quite quickly. And I think she took my lead from that in terms of
Yeah, I
I
think
wasn't too worried about it. And I'd actually mentioned it to her a few months ago, as I don't know, something might happen at work, but I don't know if it's if it is going to happen, how would you feel about it? And she's like, oh, if they offer you a choice, maybe don't take it, but if it's something that's put to you, you don't necessarily have the choice. But in a way, I'd kind of prepared her for the possibility. Uh,
interesting.
and yeah, and when it happened, it was less of a shock, but it was still a shock.
And you mentioned 10 years ago you weren't married, you didn't have
Mm.
kids. How has that, how is the identity now in terms of the effect on your kids? Because I'm pretty sure if you went home after you got that news and you were in a terrible state, that's inevitably going to rub off onto your boys.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing was I was already at home, and
Sure.
my manager was based in New York, so I couldn't have met in person unless he flew here or they flew me there, which would have been an interesting exercise. Being flown there to be told that news to fly back, but
Okay, well, I might as well enjoy myself.
yeah, exactly. So it was much like this. It was a call, a video call, and yeah. And my wife was in another room, and yeah, after the call, yeah, went over and spoke to her and told her what had happened.
Mm.
But the kids were away. They were at daycare, so I had a few hours before they came home, and yeah, they're too young to understand or care. For them, it's everything is normal, and everything has been very normal for them. Probably a little bit more daddy time now than they had before. But I think they're both very happy with that.
And I think, listening and seeing their dad now, he's taken on very well. It's good lessons here in terms of managing something that could rock a lot of people.
Yeah,
But I suppose, like what you said, you've been very fortunate that you sort of knew it was coming in a way, and perhaps you mentally prepared yourself beforehand.
yeah. I guess it's in a way it's kind of like a stoic mindset where you do these visualizations of negative outcomes, and you think through how you deal with them, and you do that before something bad happens, and when it does happen, you kind of have a blueprint to follow. So
I
in a
suppose in
way,
these
yeah.
situations, the universe of outcomes is somewhat binary. Either,
Yes,
either, either you get made redundant or you don't.
yes.
There could be maybe one or two where you can stay on, but maybe half the time, but
Yeah.
the number of possibilities are sort of finite.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you could easily do that at home. You can just think to yourself, well, I'm in this job. What if tomorrow the company went bankrupt and the job's gone or something happened and they ask you to move on? Like, what would you do? How would that impact you? That's a very easy exercise to do because it generally isn't, a topic that people attach too much emotion to. But you'd be surprised once you start thinking about it how it might affect your emotional state.
Interesting. And don't mind me, I just wanted to dig a bit
Mm.
deeper. You mentioned a lot of people said to you, "Oh yeah, just take 6 months off,"
Yeah,
and you mentioned to me that if an opportunity arose where you could utilize your skills again, you would take it.
yeah,
It seems very rational approach where you pretty much grabbed the next opportunity that came. I'm just sort of curious to know or understand, was there a bit of you that wanted to go, you know what, I might just not take 6 months, maybe I'll take three. Did that
yeah.
ever cross your mind or?
Yes, yes, it's crossed my mind. And I'd say, in a way, I'm hoping through the process of, initially talking to someone, a job coming up, first interview, second interview, so on, and that whole process, generally takes, anywhere up to a couple of months.
Mm,
So I'm hoping through that, you
that
know,
gives you that time, so to speak.
it gives me that time. And like I said, some of these things, they don't occupy my mind, for the whole day. So I've completely put the interview earlier today aside. I'll wait
Brilliant.
to hear back from HR when they call me, but I'm not sitting by the phone waiting to. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I'm now focused on, I'm focused on this conversation now, and then later on, I've got, the kids back from daycare, and just moving on to the other things that I want to do. And I think
You don't linger.
I'm not lingering at all, and it's not 8 to 10 hours of my day that's taken up by looking for work. It's maybe a couple of hours, 2 or 3 days a week, because I'm going into the city to catch up with people, and
You don't let it
networking.
consume you.
No, I'm not letting it consume me, and I think through that process, I think that's, for me, is a better reset than sitting in a holiday destination for 3 months and not doing anything.
So you can't be on a beach, just lying there, sipping pina coladas, despite you did go to Bali.
I did go to Bali, but even there, we stay a little bit busy. We go try out different things and look for things to occupy the time while you're there. So I can do a couple of days lying by the pool. I can
but
do
not
that,
but
but
not for 6 months.
no, definitely not. That's not me. That's not that would not allow me to have a healthy mindset and a healthy life.
Because when you filled in the questionnaire, you actually said on the responses that there are many things going in your mind. And that's the case now. But like you said, although there are many things you think about, you give
Mm,
them their time.
yeah, exactly.
And because that's how you approach life.
Yeah, that's how I approach life. How I think of things. It's just I'm a very curious person. I'm a very curious mindset, which I guess helps being an analytical person as well. So I tried, spend some time, topics that really interest me, topics that might not necessarily interest me a lot, but I'll just be like, I'll spend 10 minutes reading
It
up
just
on this.
opens the mind, eh?
Opens the mind up, and I give each thing the time that I feel it deserves.